Hey guys, welcome back to my class. In this lesson, I will show you one of the quite important topic in the programming world, which is making decisions. There are quite a number of subtopics here in these lessons, and we will go through one by one. So there are total 3 control structures that are available in the programming world that control the flow of a process. Okay, we have a sequence, selections, and looping. Okay, the sequence control structure is the basic one and the simplest one. So the instructions are in the order and sequentially processes. As you can see from the flowchart, there's no option to skip any task here. You have to follow. Okay, once a series of this action is started, it must be continued step by step until the last task. Just like you're given a task to cook a pot of rice, you have to take out the raw rice, put them into the container, wash them, pour away the water, fill up the water, double up the rice level, and then put the pot into the heater, cover up, then turn on the switch. You can't skip any step here. Okay, so meanwhile, for this selection control structure, it's more like you are given some options or choice to choose based on the certain preset conditions, and we will explore more later. Okay. And finally, we have a loop control structure. It's basically that you are going to do some the same task repeatedly, just like you're attending a workout session. Because asking you to do a pumping for 12 times, jumping, squatting for 12 times, so you just repeat the same actions. And we will explore this loops control structure in the next lessons. So in this lesson, we will just focus on this selection control structure. Okay, so move on to the first part of this selections, which is one-way if selections. So if you look at this flow chart here, basically we have conditions of expressions. You can just think of this diamond diagram. Okay, from now onwards, you just think of this diagram is represented by if statement. If this statement or this conditions is met, okay, then you are going to do some tasks. If not meet, fail to meet the conditions, then no action will be taken. You just go out from this if statement. And here is the syntax for this one-way if selections. If, then bracket, this is your condition, no semicolon, and then follow this statement. Okay, follow this statement if the condition is true. Okay, and remember one thing, indent the statement so that we know that this statement is belong to this if statement. But if you are using this Visual Studio, this indentation will be automatically generated in the Visual Studio. Okay, so we have an example here. Look at these questions. If a student score more than 50 marks, okay, this is the condition. If the student score more than 50 marks or equal to the 50 marks, system must show their result pass. So this is the statement that going to show if the condition is true. Okay, so here is the flow chart. So remember the diamond shape is the if. If the score is more or equal to 50, then what happened? Print the pass using this tilted rectangle output. Else, if the condition fail to meet, then no, nothing will be happens. Okay, so if you convert this flowchart into the C++ using the syntax, so this is how it look like. We have this if the score is more than 50, then pass. So I'll just show you from here. If the score, okay, if the score I put 70, so this is my condition. If the score more than 50, then no semicolon. Then what will happen if the score more than 50? So I just run the programs, pass. So if let's say I choose less than, okay, 30, and I rerun the program, okay, nothing will happen because I didn't give any task. If a score less than 50, okay, so this is the one-way selections. You do nothing when the condition is failed to meet. Okay, but what if let's say the mark is less than 50 and you would like to display a field when the mark is less than 50. Okay, in this case you have to use two-way selections, two-way if else selections. Okay, if true, then something will be performed. Okay, you do something. If fail to meet the conditions, you perform other tasks also. Okay, so either meet or not, you have to perform some tasks. So here is the syntax. Follow if, then this is the conditions, and this statement is executed if the condition is true, and you just have to add another one syntax else. Intended statement 2. This statement 2 is belong to else. Okay, if the condition is met, statement 1 will be executed. Else, if the conditions fail to meet, then statement 2 will be executed. Okay, here we have another examples, another question, which is the questions extended from the one-way selections. If the student score more than 50 marks or equal to 50 marks, this is the conditions. This is the conditions. Then system will show result pass. We have another condition. We have another task here. Else, show, fail. Okay. Okay. When you convert it to the flowchart, if we have a diamond sheet, if the score is more or equal to 50, yes, then you print the pass. If the score less than 50, okay, then what will happen? It will print failed. Okay, so when I convert into the C++ statements, so this is how it look like. If the score more than 50, no semicolon, so this is a pass. Else means if the score less than 50, other than less than 50, then it will just print out failed. Okay, so this is how it look like. If the score more than 50, then we print out the pass. Else, print out the fail. So now I put 20. So see what happens. So it will print fail because it belongs to this else. Under this, it failed to meet this condition. So it will go to this else statement and go to line 11, print out this fail. If more than 50, I put 50. It will print pass because it meets the conditions. Okay, so we have a example here. Convert the following algorithm written in the pseudocode into the complete flowchart and programs. Okay, so remember what is the 4 steps to write a good program. Understand the question first. So we have a question that asks the user to key in the sales value. Okay, read the sales. And then if the sales is more than this value, what will happen? Set the rate equal to 0.2. If the sales is less than 5,000, okay, then you set the rate equal to 0.1. Then you perform the calculations. The commission equal to sales multiplied by this rate. Then display the commissions. So once you understand what is the problem, what is the requirement, you have to read this one, you have to set the rate, and you have to display this. All this requirement you have to understand first, and then you have to plan your work using this pseudocode. This is the pseudocode I have already planned for you, or using the flowchart. So I want you to draw out this flowchart for me. Okay, I'm not going to show you how the flowchart looks like. Okay, so I will just show you how to write a program based on this pseudocode and the C++ programming syntax. Okay, the syntax for this C++. Okay, so look at here. Okay, so this is how I start to write a program. Okay, you look at this pseudocode. Read the sales means you are going to ask the input from the user, enter the sales. Okay, so the user key in the sales using the cin. Remember, cout and cin. Cout is to display the statement on the screen. Cin to get input from the user. Okay, next, if line number 2 pseudocode, if sales more than 5,000, then if using the if syntax, if bracket sales more than or equal to 5,000, then you set the rate equal to 0.2. So since you have this variable, this is your variable rate, so you have to declare your variables. So this is a decimal point, so I just put double rate. Okay, so else means if the sales less than 5,000, any value beside this more than 5,000, it will go to this rate equal to 0.1, and then perform the calculations. Okay, go to this pseudocode line 7, perform the calculations. Commission equal to sales times the rate. So since you have another two variables here, commission and sales, so you have to declare the variables commissions and the sales. Okay, finally, to display the commission, to display you have to use cout. Commission equal to 1. So once everything ready, then step 4, you have to test run your program. Run. To enter the sales, I put 6,000. Okay, my business is very good, so I hit the target. So I will get the rate 0.2. 0.2 times 6,000, you will get 1,200 for your commissions. Okay, so it's pretty simple, right? If you have plan your work using this pseudocode or the flowchart, then you should be able to write the program easily. Okay, so if you have noticed from the previous example, okay, you have noticed this example, look at this, we have this if statement, else statement, and under this if statement, else statement, we have only have this single statement. So if you have a single statement, no problems. If you have a multiple statement here, multiple line, you have another declaration or to display some things. Okay, for instance, put inside here this also. So I have these three statements under this if statement. Then if I run the program, it will show me the errors. Okay, so in order to remove this error, you have to add this brace. You have to add this brace to inform the compiler that you have to treat this three statement as a single statement. Okay, you have to inform the compiler that these three statement is belong to this if. Okay, and this three statement is belong to this else. Okay, this we call it as a block statement. Okay, as long as you have more than one single statement, related statement, you have to group them together using this brace. Okay, else it will just throw you the errors. So I run the program. Then yes, I have removed this syntax error 6,000. So this month I have a bad sales 3,000. So I get commission 300. Okay. So if I have one line, no brace is required. If you have more than one statement, then you have to put this brace, make it as a compound statement. Okay. So here is the example. You have more than one statement, put this brace. Else it will just throw you errors. Okay. Okay. Just now we have talked about this two ways selections. Basically, there's another syntax or method to produce the same output as this two-way selections. Okay, so we call this as a conditional operator. So it is, in other words, it is an alternative for this two-way selection structure. And do you remember that in the last lessons we did touch a little bit about this conditional operators? Okay, so you may go to this link that I provide to you now to know about what is this conditional operator first. Okay, so before I show you the code, so here is the syntax for this conditional operator. We have the expression 1 used to put your condition. This will be your conditions. Then put a question mark here. This is your syntax. Just put a question mark. And then expression 2. This is the expression if the condition is true. If this condition is true, then it will just go to this expression 2. If the condition is failed, fail to meet these conditions, then it will go to this expression tree using this semicolon. Okay, so here is the examples. If the marks more than 40, put a question mark, cout pass, semicolon, cout fail. Means that if the marks more than 40, yes, then it will print pass, else it will print fail. So this conditional operator is basically same as these two-way selections. If, then print, else, then fails. So basically we have two ways to write a conditional operator. The first one is same as the previous ones. Okay, score more than 80, then put a question mark, grade A, grade B. If marks more than 80, then grade equal to A, else grade equal to B. Okay, and we have our next conditions. If you have this same variable name under this if statement and else statement, you can just factor this variable out from this conditional operator. Okay, factor out grade and grade. Factor out equal to bracket score more than 80 question mark A. Just follow this conditional operator just without the variable name grade because you have factor out. Okay, both will produce the same result to you. Okay, so we have a questions here. Okay, please try this example and put your answer below in the comment box below. Okay, just now you have learned this if statement. In some occasion you might have another selection between the selections. Just like if you have a if else statement inside another if statement, just shown in this flowchart. Okay, so for instance, I'm asking you, are you hungry? So if no, then I will just prepare water for you. If yes, okay, then you have another choice. Okay, do you prefer this Western food? If yes, okay, I will prepare spaghetti for you. Else, I will just prepare a porridge for you. Okay, so in the coding part, you just duplicate this if statement, if else statement under another if. Okay, so this if else statement can be in this under this if or under this else. It depends on the situations. So one thing to remember here is the indentations. If you have this if else statement under this if or else statement, you have to make sure that indented inside. Okay, so that you know that this statement 1 is belong to this nested if, and this statement 2 is belong to this else, the nested is if else. The important point that I would like to highlight here is you have this nested if, so make sure that you indent this if else statement. Okay, so that you know that this if else statement is belong to this if statement, and you know this statement 1 is belong to this nested if statement and statement 2 also. Okay, now I will show you a poor example of this program writing in the nested if statement. Assuming that you have this scenario. Okay, if the mark more than 80, yes, then you have another if else statement. If the mark is it more than 70, if else. And meanwhile, I'll come back to here, else if you have another marks more than 60, yes, then you have another if else. Okay, so now I have this flowchart. I write the programs. So this is the program that produced by me. Okay, so this is the very poor example on writing this nested if else. Okay, this coding will still produce the same result. Okay, I'll show you here. Okay, I have this. Okay, exactly same coding. Okay, I forgot to put this indentations, so I just run the program. Okay, it will still produce me the result. Okay, but it is not that good to read. Can you identify which statement belong to which if else expressions? This grade D belong to which condition? It's very difficult to read right. So without this indentation, the code is very hard to pass. The longer the routine, the more difficult it will be. Okay, so this indentation is key to manage and maintain your code. Without these indentations, it becomes very hard to fix the problems or to add the new feature, to add the new lines under this statement. Okay, so always apply these indentations when you have this nested if else. Okay, don't worry, in the visual programming, Visual Studio, in this Visual Studio, it will just indent for you automatically. Okay, in this Visual Studio. So here is the good example of writing the nested if else. Make sure that you indent it so that you know that if else is belong to this if. You know this if else belong to this else, and you know this if else belong to this if, and so on for this statement. Okay, so always remember, if you have programs, draw out your flowcharts first. Okay, draw out your flowchart first, and then write your program. Make sure that you indent the nested if else statement. Okay, it is easy for you to find out a problem, to add the features, and to fix the problems. Okay, so we have another good example here. Okay, if the member is equal to an n, which is no, then discount equal to 0. Okay, if no, then ask another question. This is nested if else. So member type A, yes, then discount 0.1, else discount 0.2. So then I convert it to the programming. So I know that this discount 0 belong to this if, this discount 0 belong to this if, and else. I have this if else statement under this else. I have it is else statement under this else. Okay, it's very clear, right, with these indentations. So it's very important that you have this flowchart indentations in this nested if else. Okay, so I have a very simple example here. Okay, ABC Computer gives a discount to the customer. So we have these members or non-members. If you are members, you are entitled this 10% discount. If you are non-member, no discount for you. Okay, so let's look at this flowchart. This is how it looks like. Okay, you get the input from the user, what is the purchase amount. Then you ask the questions, are you a member or not? If yes, then you're entitled 10% discount, else no discount for you. So it's very simple, if else. Okay, so now we make this situation a little bit more complicated. Okay, when we have a level 1, are you a member or non-member? Yes, if you are a member, we have another question for you, another selection. Level 2, is it more than 500? Yes, then 20% discount. No, 10% discount. For non-member, if more than 500, 10% discount. If no, there will be no discount. Okay, so now we convert it to the flowchart. We have a first level, are you a member? Okay, if yes, if else, so this is the first level, member or non-member. Okay, so we have second levels, purchase amount. Is it more than 500? Yes, no. Okay, yes, no, second level. Very clear, right? If you have this flowchart, I think you can understand more easily. Then I'm not going to show you how to write these programs. I want you to try to write this program by yourself using this flowchart and the syntax that I have highlighted to you just now. Okay. Okay. Now we have another situation here. When you have more than 2 alternatives that a single if-else statement can cater for, such as the previous case. Okay, in the previous case, we have only 2 selections, either member or non-member. If member, then we have another 2 options, either more than 500 or less than 500. Only 2 options. Okay, what if let's say I have another 2 options here? The amount between 100 to 300, the amount less than 100, the amount between 300 and 500, and the amount more than 500. I have 4 options here. If you have more than 2 options, then you have to use this multiple selections. Okay, if you have more than 2 alternatives, then you have to use this multiple selection. In this case, we have 4 options, so you have to use these multiple selections. And we have 2 methods in this multiple selections, else if and a switch statement. Okay, we will move on to this else if statement first. Okay, so here is the syntax for this else if. You have a first conditions, then statement 1. This statement 1 will be executed if the condition 1 is met, and we have a statement 2 if the condition 2 is met, and so on. You can have multiple selections. Okay, for instance, you have this case task score, you have 1 2 3 4 5, we have 5 options here. Okay, in the previous case, if statement, if else statement, we have only 2 cases. Okay, either member or non-member, either more than 500 or less than 500. Now we have more than 2 options, 90 to 100, 80 to 89, 70 to 79, 60 to 69, and below 60. And each of these option here will produce a different result to the user. So in this case, we have to use multiple selections, else if. Okay, and this is the syntax. Okay, so next, when we have this again, when we have these questions, I will always come up with the flowchart first. So remember, the dimension is represented by if. If the score more than 90, then it will print A for you. Else, another diamond. Else if the score more than 80, then grade B. Else if score more than 70, grade C. Else if score more than 60, grade D. Else grade F. So I have the flowchart. I just convert it to the C++ programming. Follow the syntax. So get the score from the user. If, just follow this flowchart. If the score more than 90, print the grade A. Else if, so else if, else, and then you have one diamond, right? So else if score more than, and just follow. Right. Okay. So remember, when you have this multiple choice or this selections control structure, always remember draw out the flowchart. Understand the questions, come up with the flowchart, and then only proceed to this program writing. Okay, so beside this else statement, else if statement, we have another method to gather this multiple choice here. Okay, so which is the switch statement. Okay, then you have more than 2 options. You can use either else if or switch statement, but the switch statement is more appropriate and suitable if you have this discrete options. For instance, A is a discrete value. Okay, B, C. Okay, in the previous examples, we have a range 90 to 100, 80 to 89. If we have this range, then it's appropriate to use this else if. If you have a discrete value, okay, then it is appropriate to use a switch statement. Okay, so for instance, if I had a user key in A, then you will print this Argentina, B print Brazil, C print China. Default is when you have a letter not equal to A, B or C. Okay, beside A, B and C, you will print this unknown letter. Okay, and the syntax here. Okay, here is the syntax for this switch. Then this is your expression or your variable name, then your case 2, and default. So this default is the optional. You can either include or not include. Okay, so I will use the example to show you how to use this syntax for this switch. Okay, so we have an example here to ask the user to key in a value, okay, which is char. Another important syntax here is this expressions. These expressions. Okay, this expression, the data type for the expression can be only in char or in integer number or char. You cannot have this data type of string or float double in these expressions. Okay, so I'll show you here. Okay, so I have this case. This is the switch statement. So I put, as I mentioned, if you put string, so let's see what happens. So it will show you the errors. Okay, it's not in an integer, so this this data type for these expressions can only be in char or integer number. Char or integer, yes. Okay, so look at this, come back to this examples. So you're asking the user to key in a char. Okay, if the user key in A, then this A will start to search whether any match case or not. Yes, here we have A here. A match with this variable A, then it will print out this Argentina. And then another important point here is the break. You have to always put this break statement for every case except the last case. Okay, you have to put this break statement for every case except the last case. Okay, so if you put B, then it will search. Okay, you have this B match, then you print out this Brazil and stop, come up from this switch statement. If you have key in this donkey, okay, no donkey, so it will go to this default print unknown letter. Okay, so we have an example here. So I key in a letter, I put Z. So I try to run unknown letter because it's not inside this case. So I will run again. I put B. Okay, I run, enter. So Brazil, because B match with this case B. So I put the break here. So what happened if you remove this break? Okay, now you remove the break. Okay, I remove this break. Okay, see what happens. I will run again. I put A. It will print me Argentina, Brazil, China, and unknown letter. It will print everything for me. Why? Okay, you have to come back to this flowchart. Okay, this is how it works. If you didn't put the breaks, okay, if the case is matched true, it will print you the statement 1, which is Argentina. Then without checking other case, it will just print out all the statement for you. Go to the statement 2, statement 3, and the last statement. Okay, if you put B, okay, B search yes, correct, true, then you print out to you this statement 2, 3, and 4. So remember, always put this breaks for every single case except the last case. Okay, you can put also the last case, but it's additional work to have to. For normally we don't put this break statement in the last case. Okay, so clear with this switch statement. Okay, so remember there are some rules. Okay, only char and the integer a number for this expression letter. Okay, and always put this break for every single case except the last case. Okay, so this is the two important point here. Okay, so basically as I mentioned, this switch statement is same as this else if statement. Okay, both will produce the same result to you. Okay, and later I will explain to you what are the difference and which case is appropriate for under which situation that you should use a switch case, and under which situation that you should use the else if case. Okay, here I have an example for you. So I'm not going to show you the result here. I want you to try this by yourself. So as mentioned to you over and over again, you have to understand the question first, identify the requirement first, and then plan your work using the flowchart. Start to write your program, test your program. Okay. Okay, so similar to the nested else if, you can have the nested switch case also. where we have a switch case inside another switch statement. Okay, we have a nested if case here. So can you help me to convert this into the nested switch statement? Okay, it looks like very complicated, right? But in fact, it is quite simple. You just need to follow the step that I'm going to show you later. Okay, whenever I see these complicated codings, okay, remember, convert them into the flowchart first. Okay, you ready? If convert to the flowchart, if a equal to 1, okay, then you have another question. If b equal to 10, another question. If b equal to 10, if yes, print yes. If no, then you have another question. Is it b equal to 20? If yes, print yes, yes. Okay, now come back to the no, else if, okay, this if represented by this diamond shape, else if a equal to 2, then you have another questions, b equal to 10. If yes, print no. If no, you have another question, b equal to 20. Yes, then no. So basically from here, you can notice, okay, can you notice that we have actually two levels? We ask, is it the value, value for this a, is it equal to 1 or equal to 2? This is your first level. Okay, then we have a second level of these questions. Is it b equal to 10 or b equal to 20? We have b equal to 10 or b equal to 20. This is your level 2, b. You have two variables to ask. Is it a equal to 1 or 2, or b equal to 10 or 20? Right? Can you understand this question? Understand first this flowchart, then we proceed. We restructure this flowchart. Okay, we restructure this flowchart into the switch flowchart, where we have the level 1, where we have the a equal to 1 or a equal to 2. So if we convert into the switch case, which is level 1, a equal to 1, a equal to 2. So this is the first level. Now we focus in this level 1, a equal to 1. Okay, if you have a equal to 1, then you have another second levels, b equal to 10 and b equal to 20. So b equal to 10, b equal to 20. So what happens? So just follow here, and we have case where we have the a equal to 2, a equal to 2. Okay, level 2 same, b, is it b equal to 10 or b equal to 20? Okay, it's pretty simple, right? You convert the else if into the flowchart, identify how many levels. We have two levels, a and b. So restructure them into the switch case. From here, you can write your switch statement. Switch a, your first level. Switch a, you have 1 or 2, case 1 or case 2. So case 1, what happens? So case 1, in this case 1, you have another switch statement, which is b. So you have two cases here, 10 or 20. Put break here. Okay, so once you have done this case 1, you have case 2, where value is equal to 2. And in this case 2, you have switch statement b. We have two cases. Okay, two cases, 10 and 20. And brace. Remember, put a brace here. This is a block statement, so put a brace here, and finally close the switch statement. Okay, so I have mentioned to you many times, many of the students, they can't really perform this, answer these questions. Why? Because they skip the step 2. They don't really understand the questions. If they understand, they straight away write the question, then they start there. So if you have questions, understand the requirement first, plan your work using this flowchart. Okay, draw this flowchart first, restructure it to the switch statement, and then finally only then write this program. So here is some examples for this comparison between else if and the switch statement. So in this case, I have this char data type of the gender. Okay, we have this integer data type for these expressions. Okay, if the case is 1, then equal to 1, so break, remember, either char or integer, and you have to add this break for every single case except the last case. Okay, so we have another comparison here. In the previous two cases, we have been dealing with this discrete case. Okay, if you look at this, we have a discrete case which a equal to 1, b equal to 2, c equal to 3. Discrete case is a discrete number. Okay, so now I will show you what happens. Okay, I will show you how to use this switch case. If let's say we have these two conditions, we have these logical operations, or we have this number in the range. Okay, so if you look at this, else if we have any number equal to 2 or number equal to 8. So in the switch statement, number case 2 equal to this and case 8 equal to this. So it means that these statements belong to 8 and 2 also. Okay, so you don't need to duplicate same statement here. Okay, just 2 followed by the case 8, and then the program that will be executed if the case is 2 or 8. And you have another case here, number more than 4 and number less than 6. So if you think that this number 4 or more than 4 and less than 6, so you can think that this number is basically more than equal to 4, 5 and 6, right? So in the switch statement, you have to list out all 4, 5 and 6. Then you have to put the programs. Okay, so what if, okay, what is you have this case number more than 0 and number less than 50. Okay, are you going to list now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 until 50 for me? So this is not feasible. So this is why I mentioned, if let's say you have a range number, okay, then you use this else if. If you have this discrete selections, use switch statement. Okay, so remember, you have the discrete value, then use the switch statement. If you have a condition where you have a range, a big range, a number, a lot of conditions here, with logical operators, then you have to use this else if statement. Okay, so we have a question for you. Okay, try this. We have a first level and second level. This is a nested. So in this case, you can use else if, but the questions asking you to use a switch statement. So remember, understand the question first. We have a level 1, level 2, and each level we have two cases because we have 100 and 200. And this second level we have this 300 and 600, and then case 1 and case 2. Okay, so I'm not going to show you this answer. Try, take out a pen or the paper, understand the question, draw out your flowchart, and start to run your programs. Okay, we have a discussion in the comment box below. Okay, so try this also. We have this is a bit more complicated questions. We have a two layer. Okay, so 2 layers, but we have more cases here. Cases 1, cases 2, 3, 4. So this one, or you can combine. And then level 2, you have case 1, case 2, and others. Others mean default. Okay, so enjoy your program writing. Okay, so last but not least, let me do some summary for you. That so far we have learned these 6 techniques on this selection control structures. Okay, we have this single alternative selections, only if statement. Okay, do nothing if the condition is failed to meet. Okay, fail to meet these conditions, do nothing. We have dual alternative selection where action will be taken for both true and false conditions. We have nested if, where we have a if else statement under this if statement. Okay, and we have the else if statement. Okay, where you have more than 2 alternatives that a single if else statement can cater for. Then you use this else if statement or switch statement. So if you use switch statement if the expression here is discrete value. Okay, for instance 1, 2, 3 char ABC. Okay, you use else if statement if you have a range number a more than 7 or a between this 3 to 10, then you use else if statement. If you have a discrete value, use switch statement. Okay, so we have nested switch statements, so another switch in a switch statement. Okay, so my tips here, always come up with a plan first. Draw this flowchart. before you start to write a coding. Okay, so that's all for this video. I hope you benefit from here. If you like this video, please give me a like. Okay, and I will see you in the next lesson. Okay, bye.